Alessia, thank you so much for joining us on talkSPORT. How are you? How was your summer? Did you manage to get away?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Nice to be here. I had a lovely summer. In between camps, got away a little bit. Family holidays, girls' holidays, just tried to fit it in where I could. And then, we've been in Washington for the past 2 weeks, so nice to be back at Colney.
Yeah, I was going to ask about preseason. How was it?
It was good. It was nice to be away. I think when you're on a camp like that, you bond not only on the pitch but off the pitch. You get to go and explore new cities together, get to do a bit of like team bonding sessions and just enjoy each other's company, and obviously good to get 2 really good games out there.
And a first proper full pre-season with Arsenal now this year. How important is that going into a season? And do people underestimate how important it is really getting a good pre-season behind you?
Yeah, well, last year I only had 5 days off after the World Cup and then came in straight for Champions League qualifiers. So I felt pretty exhausted, and it's tough coming into a new team anyway. But this year feels good. Pre-season was really nice, and we've still got a few more weeks ahead of us, and obviously Champions League coming up. But I think it's massive. Pre-season kind of builds the foundation for what you want to do going forward. You get to build connections early on, and having the full squad in nice and early makes a real difference.
1 whole year at Arsenal now. How do you reflect on that first year?
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. Probably took me longer than I hoped to settle in on reflection, just looking back at things, and I suppose you can never really tell how long it will take. It's tough at times, but I think I learnt a lot about myself and on and off the pitch, and just grew as a player and as a person. So it was nice to have that under my belt, and hopefully go again this year.
And that growth that you talk about, I'm sure a lot of it is down to Jonas, the manager. How's your relationship been with him over this past year?
Yeah, really good. He's a top manager, and he backs us all the way. And we know as a team and as a group of staff that we wanted more out of last season, and we're going to do exactly that. You can tell the foundations that we've put in, the training that we've put in these past few weeks has been really good, and I think you can feel that everyone's really excited, and that starts with all of them and all the staff setting the standards and setting the bar high, and us as players to follow it. So hopefully it'll be a big year.
And one of the main things, or the big talking point, should I say, going into this year for Arsenal is the fact that the Emirates will be your home. It's such a statement. For on and off the pitch, Arsenal have been such a driver in growing the women's game. What kind of impact do you think that will make for Arsenal itself as a club, but also the wider landscape of women's football?
I think it's incredible. You could have that feeling last season, kind of when we were playing at the Emirates and we were selling out and then breaking records back to back. And this year to have 11 games there is ridiculous, and it's amazing. It's what you want as a player. It's what you want as a club. I think we're really paving the way for women's football, and setting it on the map. And I think that the way that the fans get behind us at the Emirates is also really cool. And I know we're all so excited to firstly get back out there next week with the Champions League, but also to kick off the league at the Emirates against Man City.
You might say yes to this, but as a young girl, did you ever dream, or did you ever think that you'd be walking out as a professional footballer into these packed out stadiums week in, week out?
I wouldn't say I dreamed. I hoped, and it was always something that I wanted and loved. But wasn't sure whether it would fully be possible until I got a little bit older, and you could kind of see things were changing. I don't think I'll have ever dreamed of the opportunities that we get now, and the fans and all those kind of things. And for me, when you walk out at a packed out Emirates Stadium, it's just one of the best feelings.
I want to talk to you about one of the legends of the game, Kelly Smith.
Yeah.
How has it been working with her? What have you been able to take and learn from her? I mean, I'm sure she's still got it on the pitch. How has she helped you grow in the last few months in pre-season?
Yeah, Kelly's great, and she was my idol when I was a kid. So to have her now as a coach and in and around the team every day feels still a bit weird. I remember the first time I met her and I was a bit starstruck. But no, she's great. She's so humble. She's so kind, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to help us as players and us as a team. And I think she doesn't say much, but when she does, it holds a lot of power. And she's just the best to learn from, and yeah, wouldn't want anyone else to teach us how to strike a ball.
It's good to know that you, Arsenal and England players, still get starstruck, because
Yeah.
to think that all those young girls and boys out there get starstruck over you, but there's still people out there that will still amaze you.
Yeah, for sure.
Your career so far, people could say it was unconventional because not a lot of people go to America. Some people stay here.
Yeah.
But you went over there. You've also obviously been at Chelsea. You went to Brighton, Manchester United. How have all those experiences shaped you to the player that you are now?
They're all so different. Obviously, I was at Chelsea when I was young in the academy, and that was kind of a lot of foundations, and then went to Brighton to play football because I wanted to play some first team football before I went out to the States, which was a great experience. And then America was amazing. Learned a lot, grew up a lot, and kind of had to learn the hard way out there. And then United, my first professional contract and career, and now I'm here. It all feels a bit of a whirlwind, and it's all been so fast. I think in football you blink and suddenly 3 seasons have passed, but no, it's great. Every chapter has taught me something different, and whether that be on the pitch, off the pitch, and just how I can grow, and I feel really happy here, and I feel like I'm learning every day. So last season was another massive learning curve, and hopefully this season will be too, and we'll keep pushing on.
Touched a little bit on it earlier about Clay Smith teaching you how to strike a ball, but I wanted to know who your idols, male or female, growing up. Who did you watch and think, wow?
I had a few, and it was like in spells. Kelly was definitely one of them. In the female game, she was, I used to go and watch her anytime I could with my dad. I also loved Mia Hamm. She was a great player, and someone that went to the university that I went to in America, so another connection there. That was someone that I followed a lot. And then in the men's game, I loved Thierry Henry. I love Zidane.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Zidane. And I loved watching football. I still do. Now I love Harry Kane, Haaland. I think there's so many people that you can learn from and watch just week in, week out. And I'm just a fan of football, really. So I'll watch pretty much anywhere I can.
25 now, by no means old in the world of football, but you're
not a young player anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're entering into those years that people talk about potentially being your prime. What do you want to do in the next few years? How do you want to grow? Where do you see yourself personally?
I think for me, last season we got a little taste of it winning the Conti Cup, but as a player and as a team, there's no greater feeling than winning trophies. And we got a taste of that last season, and this season we want to push on. We want to compete in the Champions League. We want to win the league. We want to win the cups. I think that's very clear. And Arsenal is a club that comes from such a rich history of winning, and that's the bar. And it's big standards, but it's standards that we know we can achieve. We know we've got the talent, and we know we've got the staff behind us. So I think we're aiming really high, and hopefully it will be a big few years. And I think just keep progressing the game, keep inspiring the next generation. I know it sometimes sounds a bit cliche, but I know when I was a kid, I used to love going to these games and watching these kinds of tournaments. So if we can inspire one kid to start playing football, then we're on the right track.
And another big Euros next year. I mean, it only just feels like we had the last one. But how important is it to have a good club season going into a major tournament?
For sure. I think football's all about form and about how you're feeling and confidence, and I think that hopefully going into that everyone will be feeling good. I think the league's never been higher competition and talent and things like that, so everyone will be thinking the same thing. Everyone will want to go into this season and have a big year, and us as a team will be working really hard to hopefully go and do that. But it makes a difference going into a tournament knowing you've got a lot of games under your belt.
And finally, something a little bit more lighthearted. What I want to do with you is create Alessia's perfect Arsenal player. So
nice.
No pressure.
Yeah.
And you'll only be bigging up your teammates. Don't worry. Not going to throw anyone under the bus.
Is this current teammates?
Current.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start with speed. If you can take anyone's speed from the Arsenal squad, who would it be?
Emily Fox.
Okay, we're going to do this all quick fire.
Okay.
Dribbling.
Oh, Rosa.
Skills.
Actually, let me change that. Skills, Rosa. Dribbling, Caitlin Ford.
Cool. Heading.
Leah.
Strength. And if anyone gets a mention twice, then fair play. And you can say yourself.
Strength. We'll go Stina.
Cool. Work rate.
Frida.
First touch.
Ooh. Kyra.
Leadership.
Kim.
Football IQ.
Ooh, Mariona.
And I've saved this one till last. Finishing.
I'll put myself.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah.